Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinics, with physicians, physical therapists, and trainers who treat sports and performance-related injuries, with locations across the valley. More information on services and locations at stalphonsus.org/stayactive.
From Boundary to Bear Lake, Fremont to Payette, Oahe to Oneida, there are interesting people, places, and histories in all of Idaho's counties. And Idaho Matters wants to share it with you with stories from all 44 counties that make up the Gem State. Email your ideas to idahomatters@boisestate.edu or use the Talk to Us feature in our app, available on Apple and Android, and tune in each weekday at noon for Idaho Matters.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. Today, we'll tell you about an all-important new survey concerning suicide in Idaho. We have a story on another swatting incident in Idaho, and this is a big sports day. It's the return of Boise State football. It is Thursday, the 28th of August, and here are today's stories. Idaho has the fourth highest suicide rate in the U.S. A local public health survey is asking the public how and where they might store lethal means like guns or medication to better understand how to prevent suicide. Julie Lucatar reports.
66% of suicide deaths in Idaho between 2021 and 2023 were from firearms, but in the counties served by Southwest District Health, Adams, Canyon, Gem, Oahe, Payette, and Washington, gun deaths accounted for 70% of suicides. Prevention coordinator for the district, Caden Griffin, says the new survey wants to know why people might not store their guns or other lethal means in safe lockboxes.
Is it to prevent access by others, for ready access in case of an emergency, to protect them, maybe for convenience? Are the methods of secure storage expensive?
Studies show a quarter of suicide attempts happen within 5 minutes, half within less than 20.
Having even a couple of minutes between the thought of suicide and acting upon that thought of suicide is a huge protective factor.
Griffin says having to retrieve lethal means from a secure storage place with a PIN code, for example, can give someone the time and space to reconsider.
While some suicide attempts occur after a long period of consideration, research has showed us that most suicide attempts occur without much time or planning.
Rural communities across the country have higher rates of gun ownership and lower access to mental health services, which may contribute to higher death rates. Officials hope data from the survey will inform how to address the issue. Julie Duqueta, Boise State Public Radio News.
This survey is anonymous. It's open until the end of September. If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, you can always call or text 988 for help. You are not alone. And for more information, you can go to boisestatepublicradio.org. A stretch of Idaho State Highway 21 remains closed due to a landslide triggered by extreme rainstorms earlier this week. Idaho 21, in both directions between Grand Jean and Banner Summit, is impassable because of mudslides and fallen rocks. Much of the debris filled down onto the road because of severe burn scars on the mountainside. Schools in Idaho City are closed today because this week's flash flooding forced Idaho City to temporarily shut down its municipal water treatment plant, prompting the school closure. Idaho City officials are asking residents to conserve their water until further notice, and that prompted the Basin School District to cancel classes today. On the fire watch this morning, yesterday's rainfall was much needed on the front lines of more than 13 major wildfires in Idaho. Checking the rock fire southwest of Tamarack, there are more than 700 firefighters on the scene there. The rock fire has burned nearly 2,800 acres. It is 42% contained. The Lightning Creek fire, burning north of the Bonner County town of Clark Fork, has burned 2,500 acres. It is 25% contained. Law enforcement agencies across the U.S. have reported an increasing number of so-called swatting incidents. anonymous calls to law enforcement, usually triggering a big police response for no legitimate reason. And the city of Rexburg is the latest target. The Idaho State Journal is reporting that Rexburg police received an emergency call about a possible hostage incident. Police rushed to the scene. They secured the neighborhood, but it was all a hoax. An investigation continues. This is the day Boise State football fans have had circled on their calendars for months. The Broncos kick off a new season this afternoon in front of a nationally televised audience. They are in Tampa, where they'll take on the University of South Florida. It is the first time the two teams have ever met. Boise State head coach Spencer Danielson is entering his second full season as head coach.
We're a new team this year. South Florida is a new team. Every FBS team at this point in the year is a new team, and there's a lot of question marks. I get asked, what's going to be the strength of your team? What are some position groups that are going to stand out? It's really hard to say that because we haven't played anybody yet, right? We still have everything to prove. No different than South Florida. Last year is done. You can't start halfway up the mountain. Proud of where our guys are at, proud of where we're growing to.
Boise State enters the season ranked 25th in the nation in the AP preseason poll. Kickoff is 3:30 this afternoon. It will be on ESPN. Now to high school sports, which had 8.2 million participants last year in the U.S., an all-time high. Much of the participation growth nationally is driven by girls' sports. As Troy Oppie reports, that's the case in Idaho, too.
Data compiled by the National Federation of State High School Associations, NFHS, show high school sports participation has rebounded from pandemic-era declines and is continuing to grow. Here in Idaho, nearly 55,000 participants suited up for 24 sanctioned sports and activities last year, but the number of boys participating dropped slightly, with about 9% fewer golfers, but gains in 11-man football and soccer. Football remains the most popular sport with more than 8,200 players statewide. That's more than double nearly every other sport except track and field. Girls' sports participation continued to grow with notable gains in softball, volleyball, and girls' wrestling. Nationwide, most growth in girls' sports is happening because of flag football. Participation nationally grew 60% last year, but girls' flag football is not a sanctioned sport in Idaho. High school sports participation here has grown 23% the last 10 years, with girls' participation growing at a slightly faster rate than the boys. Troy Oppie, Boise State Public Radio News.
Dave Grainert is over at the National Weather Service office in Boise. Dave, happy Thursday.
Hi, George. Happy Thursday. Yes. Thank you.
And, boy, what a week. What might we have in store for today?
Today, it's looking drier. Certainly less shower and thunderstorm activity.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few over the mountains this afternoon, but in the valley we'll stay dry and have a high of 84 degrees. Okay.
And the all-important forecast for the holiday weekend.
Right. Yeah, that one's looking dry. It's going to be nice. Seasonable temperatures, so to say, near normal. Highs around 90.
And what a respite. How about on the other side of this and the first part of next week?
Yeah, that pattern's going to continue into next week. So next week is looking high and dry as well for the most part. Might see a few showers in the mountains in the afternoon, but really not too much that we're looking at. And temperatures, again, near normal, just kind of steady highs in the upper 80s, around 90 in the valleys here.
Well, thanks for keeping us updated throughout this week. It has been quite active, and for all of that, we thank you, and thanks for giving me some time this morning.
Certainly, George. Yeah, thank you.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We will see you back here on Friday. And to stay in touch with the news between now and then, check out BoiseStatePublicRadio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. And thanks for listening.